Hello, everyone.
I didn't get the Christmas tree up yet, unfortunately. And you guys might notice that the shelf on the back wall is missing. There's a reason for this. I did an event on Monday called Ovation. It was held by the Raw Natural Born Artist Organization, which apparently exists all around the world. I didn't know that, but it was pretty neat. We hung out with a lot of cool people. I stood up in front of 1,200 people and gave a branding presentation, which was pretty neat. You guys might have seen some pictures from that. But my initial plan was a bunch of the products that you guys have sent me that I have on hand. I was going to lay them out with your guys' business cards, including the products that were on that little shelf back there. And I was going to put like a sign on our table that said, check out some of the products from our students. But what ended up happening was they told us that our 6-foot table was too big, and they gave us like this teeny tiny table. And we just weren't able to do what we wanted to do. So since I'm going to be putting up the big Christmas tree back here anyway for the next Q&A, I figured that I'd go ahead and take the shelf down. That way I don't end up knocking it down when I put up the Christmas tree. And then I'm going to put them back up after the tree is up. So hello, everybody. Hello, B is eating lunch. AB, I never know who AB is. AB, what's your name? I want to call you by your name. Ginger Johnson is here. Lisa is always here. Kate is here. Lori is here. Hooray! April, Marcy. All right, guys. So today we have a super cool Q&A. We have one of our Handmade Alpha Academy students who's going to be talking to you about international shipping. And she lives in the middle of Australia, like there is nothing around her. She is just out in the middle of nowhere, making the best of what she has. And it's 2 a.m. where she lives. So she's currently trying to put her daughter to bed. We were just talking a few minutes ago and her daughter was crying and it's like 2 a.m. So I'm sure all of the moms out there can completely understand and empathize. And if you guys, hear a baby crying or if Jess has to get up, I do have some additional bonus Starla content to fill in the blanks if all else fails. So we all know how that goes when your kid is supposed to be in bed and things don't go the way that they're supposed to. I remember those days where our daughter just kept us up like really late. So a couple announcements. Oh, Angelica. You've told me that before. I need to write that down. Angelica. I can remember that. All right. Hi, Cynthia. Cynthia, I got your email. I will be messaging you back to answer your question. Ohio is awesome and I highly recommend it, but I will give you a more in-depth email later. So guys, for those who are hanging out with us for the very first time, we spend the first 10 minutes of every stream welcoming everyone, giving news, and boy, do we have some news for you today. Have you guys been waiting 7 months for Handmade Alpha Academy to open? Let me know in the comments if you have been waiting those long 7 months, just watching from the outside, looking through the little glass pane as the Alpha alumni on the inside are climbing their way to success. And I'm sure that you guys have seen the posts in the Handmade Alpha community and in the live stream, since we have several Handmade Alpha Academy students here. I'm sure that some of you probably watched the testimonial video that was posted yesterday. If not, go to my channel, watch that video, because it's the video that literally made tons of alphas cry when they watched it because it was just so emotional. But basically, I lost my train of thought. Oh, tomorrow morning, I will be opening Handmade Alpha Academy for the first time in 7 months. It's only going to be open for 10 days. And if you are on my email list, and only if you're on my email list, I will be sending a massive discount that's going to be around 50% off. I have not even revealed what the price of the course is. However, if you saw the enrollment period last summer, it will be the same. But if you are unaware, just watch your email tomorrow. That way you can get the big discount and you can hear all the details. Now, if you're not on my email list, the link for that is down below, as well as all of Jess's links. I put all of her links. That way you can check out her shop. She is a Handmade Alpha Academy student. And I will be talking more about all of those goodies later. But the first link that you need to look for is the Handmade Alpha, like little wait list link. It is the same as my email list, but if you subscribe to it by accident, like you're not going to be double opted in. I'm just making sure that the people on that waiting list get the email invitation first to Handmade Alpha Academy.
Carrie Smith said hello from Ohio. We're also in Ohio.
We are also in Ohio. It was nicer today. Very foggy outside though.
Very foggy.
So massive discount. Handmade Alpha Academy opens tomorrow. Super freaking excited. And we're going to be answering a few Handmade Alpha Academy questions at the end of this Q&A. Not only that, but we're going to have multiple live Q&As, both in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community, which is linked down below. If you're not a member, be sure to join. We'll be answering questions there. We will be hosting a live stream on YouTube sometime next week. I don't have an exact date, but I'll be popping in and out answering questions. And if you have any more questions that you want to ask me like one-on-one, feel free to email me at starla@handmadealphaacademy.com. Can you type that in the chat? starla@handmadealphaacademy.com. And I would be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. Yes, you will get me.
This would have been easier for you.
Oh, well, it's your keyboard. You're better at it. So super duper 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 excited in all of our alphas. What is Handmade Alpha? We are Handmade Alphas. Handmade Alpha Academy is my online training course where I teach you how to build a successful Etsy shop from start to finish, literally every single step. Not a single beat is left out of the process. And our Handmade Alphas who are currently in the course, some of them have gotten to quit their day jobs. Some of them are making their very first sales, like for the first time ever. They've been working on Etsy for years and years and years. And then they joined the Handmade Alpha Academy, did a total shop overhaul, and are finally seeing those sales. We have alphas all around the globe. That course will be opening tomorrow, and it will only be open for 10 days. Do we have any other questions?
Somebody asking if they could ask a question or wait till after the end of the interview.
Well, Q&A with shipping questions and all that, we will be answering those after we do the interview with Jess. We usually wait. Jess is currently, I see her empty chair on screen, so I think she's still putting her daughter to bed. But what else did I have? Oh, I guess that's it. Well, if you guys have any quick questions, we've got about 2 minutes, and it looks like Jess is still taking care of her kiddo. So if you have any questions, oh, there she is. If you have any questions, feel free to type those into the chat in the next 2 minutes. Other than that, we had a great time at Ovation. We had one of our alphas, Heather, who came to visit us. That was pretty cool. I think she was the only alpha who was there. I do have a webinar planned for sometime next weekend, I believe. I have more information on that coming, but I basically am going to be kind of doing like a reiteration of the branding presentation that I gave at Ovation for those who were not able to attend. I think Heather's the only one who got to attend. So that would be all of you. But I'll have more information on that later. I'll have an enrollment page. And if you're on the email list, you'll be getting all of the information to enroll for that webinar too. And Handmade Alpha Academy students who enroll in HAA or who are already enrolled in HAA, you guys can participate in that webinar as well. So super duper exciting. Are you guys going to do another box opening video from the alphas? I always do. We do not stop doing unboxings. They are non-stop. Our next one, we need to have products at our house or in our PO box by December 5th if you would like to participate in that unboxing video. So international alphas, unfortunately, you probably won't be able to send anything for that and for the giveaway. But US alphas, as long as you made sure that they arrive to our PO box by December 5th, you can still participate in the upcoming alpha giveaway.
And the other question that we had was, what would you do if someone asked you the name of the company where you source your materials from and then they buy one of your products?
I don't tell people where I buy my, you're allowed to have trade secrets. You do not have to tell people where you buy all of your materials. Those are called trade secrets. Okay. You don't have to share that information. If it's like for an allergy risk, you can tell them, you know, the materials and things, but don't tell people who your suppliers are. All right, guys, it looks like it is noon on the dot. Not for Jess though. It's 2 a.m. where she lives. Can you, do we need to unmute her? Does she have to unmute herself?
She has to unmute herself.
Jess, do you see see an option to unmute yourself? Okay, let me know when you're... There she is. There she is. And baby, tell us about the baby. What is the baby's name?
This is baby Eliza. She's 10 days away from being 11 months old. And it's so typical that she has to be awake right now because this is basically how I do my business. Baby on me all the time.
Oh, how many alphas out there run their business the same way, though? Type in the comments and let us know. How many alphas out there work with their baby on their lap? And I see a couple of people asking Handmade Alpha Academy questions. Just save those until the end, like copy them somewhere or paste them in a text document, and we'll get to those at the end because I want to make sure that Jessica has plenty of time to talk to you guys. So, Jess, you want to go ahead and tell everybody what your business is and what you sell and how you got started?
Sure. Okay, so my business is called Six Spice, and I make candles. And I don't want to say soy candles because I've actually like restructured because of the temperature of where I live. So candles, I make scented candles and just home decor, like in the sense that like people like smell good things. That's what I do. So wax melts, candles, room diffusers, things like that. So
all
the reason why, yeah, like all that kind of stuff, which sounds like really generic, but my like mission is for people to like work on themselves, like self-care, taking time for themselves, because not a lot of people do that, and it's so important, especially when you have like these little munchkins. You really need to take time to rejuvenate yourself. And she's still up every like 2 to 3 hours. So if I didn't take time amongst all my business craziness, and I have an older son who's almost 7, and like, you know, it just wouldn't work. You just have to fill your own cup first. And that's basically what my business is all about, is just encouraging everyone to just fill their own cup first. And why candles? Well, you know, like as a lot of us creatives are, it's really hard sometimes to choose a focus. For me, it was very, very hard to find a focus. I'm talented in a lot of different things, and I needed something. And I was working on my product line formulation, and I was doing like a combination of skincare and hair care and candles, and I was planning it out and playing around with it, and went to bed, and then woke up and was like, no, must do focus. Candles, that's what I'm doing, that's it, done. So made a decision.
You picked your one thing. Like, you guys, Mark isn't invisible. He ran upstairs. There he comes. So you picked your one thing. And what I love most about your brand is that you didn't just get on here and say, oh, you got something on your shirt.
It's water.
I make candles because candles are cool and everyone needs a candle and they smell good. Like, you actually have a reason that is rooted from something that you personally experience on, you know, day-to-day life, taking care of yourself and needing that time to focus on yourself. I mean, for those who aren't aware and who missed the beginning of our like intro, it is 2 a.m. where she is right now, and she is here hanging out with us with baby on lap at 2 o'clock in the morning. So if that doesn't spell dedication, I don't know what would. Now, obviously, today's topic is going to be very, very helpful for sellers who do not live in the United States. But I know since that's not a majority of our audience, we are also going to kind of give some different tips that will apply to everybody, and kind of you know, refocus on how things could also apply to our U.S. sellers, because I sell within the U.S. And I think that, you know, with some of the points that Jess and I talked about initially, a lot of the points that she talked about are struggles that I have as well, or I have, but on a different level. So we'll just we'll bounce back and forth a little bit. That way everybody can benefit no matter where you live. And then at the end, if you guys have any questions, whether they be about international shipping, shipping from the US, shipping from, somewhere else in the world, shipping to somewhere else in the world, we will answer those questions. And we're more than happy to also answer some Handmade Alpha Academy questions, from Jess's perspective, since she is a student. So let's get into your 7 secrets. Do you want to start talking about those 7 secrets?
Okay. So my first secret I want to talk about is all about business structure. So when you enter a training, if it's a good training, it will talk about how to initially start your business structure. So this is talking about actually physically going and doing all the government regulated stuff. So a lot of the trainings are based out of the US and are not applicable to people like me, but that's okay. Like, I figured it out. Yeah, you got to go figure some things out on your own, and the things are different, but actually you can take some of the points that are in the trainings and just go find the equivalent in your country. Like, I can't even know, like, you know what I mean? Like, when what's the tax office called in the US? Like, it's like,
IRS.
specific.
Just the IRS.
Yeah, the IRS, like, you have to figure out what that is in like your country, and like here it's like the ATO, like the Australian tax office. So like it all kind of works together. But
and there's a great way to do that. If you live in another country and you want to start an Etsy shop and the whole idea of taxes terrifies you, look into the different Etsy teams. You guys remember Etsy teams? Like, I don't know if anyone still uses those, but they're very useful to find, Etsy teams just for Australia or just for, the UK. And there are sellers in there who have been doing this for years and who can tell you exactly, step by step, what you need to do, where you need to go. So look for Etsy teams for your specific area, because they have Etsy teams for even the weirdest, most obscure countries that I've never even heard of. I've seen these Etsy teams pop up. I'm like, what the heck is this country? I didn't even know this existed. So, and Jess, was that difficult for you when you started? Because you're in Australia. So I know we have some Australians. Let us know in the comments if you're from Australia. But for any alphas out there who might be wondering what this is, like, just a disclaimer, this is not legal advice. We cannot be held accountable for any legal stuff. But Jess, what did you do to get started? Like, when you first decided to start a business, for anybody who's wondering from Australia, just like a quick overview of what you need to do.
We have really good resources, like government resources here. So I probably just did a Google search and got onto the Australian Taxation Office, like the ATO website, and it leads you what you need to do. Like, there's free webinars and there's lots of resources. So I think I just I didn't, because I live very, very remote in Western Australia. So I live 1,600 kilometers north of Perth. So I live out in like literally the middle of the outback. Like, there is nothing here. Like, there's maybe 500 people where I live. So there's no tax office here I could go ask anybody questions. So I was able to figure everything out online. So
yeah,
it's okay.
and I mean, in the US, you can just go to sba.gov, and it's the same thing. It literally outlines every single thing that you need to do. So there is always online resources. All right. So number 2 is, that secret is just the initial forming your business structure. First, starting out, needing to know what you need to do in order to be legal, to ship your products to everybody. And you're not just selling, one little candle to your buddy down the street. Like, when you are a business, you're going to be shipping all around the world. You have to get all of your legalities set up. So let's go ahead and move on to number 2, which I love because it's something that the alphas love to talk about. I'm sure everybody knows our famous fanny pack discussions. Jess, what is number 2?
You have to, if you want to compete internationally, you need to pay attention to wording and language. So we speak English, but it doesn't mean that we all are saying the same words. Like I remember, I'm actually from Canada originally, so when I moved here 2.5 years ago, I had to like learn a new language. It was so weird. It took me a while, but so if you want to hit like Mother's Day, and let's say you're going after the Australian market. Okay, if you write mom, like MOM, like they do in Canada and the US, you're not going to hit anybody in Australia. You need to write MUM, or in like the UK, it's MAM and things like that. And let's say like all of a sudden like bell peppers become like a trend, right? And you're trying to hit like the Australian market, you got to call them capsicums. So just keywords, things like that. Like if you're talking about like cilantro, it's coriander, and a truck and a lorry and a ute. Like they're all totally different things. Like if you talk about trucks in Australia, you're talking about like 300-ton like mining dump truck things, like massive.
So you're not
yeah,
talking about
yeah, like a pickup truck is here is called a ute.
That's so weird. So that's something I learned today. And for everybody who's like over in Europe area, we always hear a lot of people when I'm in the US, we say fanny packs, you know, the little bag that you strap around your waist. And it's a fanny pack. And everybody over there just giggles anytime we have a Q&A. But you know, I mean, you see them in the like children's cartoons. We'll say fanny packs, and apparently in other places that's not a nice thing to say. But it's just one of those things where you know you can hit so many different markets by playing with keywords, by making sure that you're marketing correctly. Because I mean, you definitely don't want to market to Europe and market a fanny pack and then wonder why the heck you're selling obscene products. You know what I mean? So make sure that you're aligning the language with the market that you're trying to sell to, and play with keywords, you know, play with them, sprinkle them around in your titles and see what magic comes of it. Do lots of research.
Yeah. Just do a little research and have a little experiment.
Yeah. And do you use Etsy Rank to check like keyword comparisons? Of course.
Always.
Of course. Got to compare and see how the different words are doing. All right. So we have business structure and lingo and dialect. So those are two big things to consider. The dialect is important both in communication and marketing and for SEO. What is your third point? Do I have it? Oh, yeah. Ooh, the third point is a good one for this time of year.
Wording ties into the next one. So not only do you have to pay attention to how things are written and spelling and things, but also you need to pay attention to the dates and the times of the holidays. So this one is really interesting because Black Friday was just happened, right? So I had to make a decision from my end because I'm actually like I'm 16 hours ahead of you guys, right? So in yours, I had to think about like, okay, so when you, like you said, do 6 p.m. it starts. So I was like, hey, what do I do here? Do I do 6 p.m. my time? Do I do 6 p.m. like in Sydney, like Australian Eastern time? Do I do 6 p.m. like, where do I do it? Do it Eastern, Pacific? So I ended up doing it my time, but I did it. So it was like your Wednesday.
Okay. So you scheduled it ahead of time.
Yeah, so I did it early and then I did it late too. So when I did it till like Wednesday so that I could hit your Cyber Monday. So if I only did my Cyber Monday, I would completely miss out on Cyber Monday. And I put Cyber Monday in a few of my tags, and it was actually like good thing I did because I got a lot of news from it. So you got to think about like even like if even the US sellers, if they wanted to hit the Australian market, they would have to do it like ahead of time. So if it's like your Monday would be my Tuesday. No, so they would have to like extend their sales. Do you know what I mean?
So maybe plan to, like, if you've got a major holiday and you want to reach like a larger spectrum of the market and you want to hit almost like this global reach, like we'll use Black Friday as an example. Start that sale, and maybe Black Friday sale, make sure that it's lasting for almost like 2 days, like just kind of stretch it out. Cause like, for example, I do that. I started mine cause you know, Thanksgiving here is you know, Thursday. So I started mine early Thursday, and that way it would hit all of Friday, and then it ended technically on Saturday. That way I could make sure that I had like almost more than 24 hours so that it reached everyone. So time frames are extremely important. And I hear that a lot. And, you know, for those international alphas who are wondering like what the best time, you know, should I follow Eastern, Pacific? Which one do most people live in? That's not really like how it works in the US. I usually like to I don't even usually, when I advertise, I don't usually include Central, because most people in the US can differentiate like how many hours are between Pacific and Eastern. So I'll list the time frame on Pacific and then Eastern. So, you know, and then Central people can usually figure it out by, you know, subtracting. But we actually here in Ohio,
like my phone.
Your phone. Oh, are you there? Are you there?
My phone is from. Oh dear.
We got you. You're just kind of lagging.
Okay. Here.
Give it a second. Let everything catch up with itself for a second. But while Jess is readjusting, well, just stay right there, Jess. It'll balance itself out in a second. I can kind of see movement on your side. Give it a second and it should sync back up. I know you're out in the middle of nowhere. From Ohio to California, I know that because, you know, those are like opposite sides of the country. We had about what was it, a 3-hour difference? Yeah. 3-hour difference in between us. So, I mean, even that seemed like a lot, but 16 hours between you and I, that's crazy. All right. It looks like I think you're back.
Nope. Maybe.
Can you guys see Jess?
There she is.
Cool. Okay. I think we got you back. All right. What were you saying? Uh-oh. We might not have her back. We might have lost her. We can see you. We just can't hear you. Oh.
Switch back to us.
Okay. Well, let's maybe give it a second. Jess, if you need to click off the, click out of the chat and then reopen it again. Same link that you used to join it. And that might work. So just like click out of the window and then reopen it in the messenger message that I sent you. And hopefully that boots us back. But while Jess is reconnecting, let's go. There she goes. Okay. While Jess is reconnecting, I do want to talk about a few things from the US perspective, and these are probably going to apply to international alphas as well. Feel free to let me know in the comments how you guys see it in other countries, and let me know what country you're from in the comments while Jess is reconnecting. That way we know what like spectrum of alphas that we're working with today. But one of the big things that I commonly see alphas doing wrong or freaking out about, when a customer messages you and, you know, from another country, and they want to place an order and they say, hey, can you do me a favor? When you fill out the customs form, can you please mark it as a gift so that I don't have to pay a customs fee? Or can you please put the value under $10 so I don't have to pay a customs fee? This is illegal.
Don't do that.
It's very illegal. And if it ever happens and someone threatens to leave a bad review, or if they leave a bad review and that bad review is about them having to pay a customs fee, contact Etsy. Do not respond to the review. Do not like type a public response. Immediately message Etsy. Customs fees are going to apply, you know, no matter what. Like there's no way around it. You can't, you know, maneuver things around to make sure that the customer absolutely won't pay them. They happen. It's the same as in the US. We have to pay taxes when we go to a grocery store to buy even the smallest little item. You pay a tax on it, and it's a lot, you know, it's the same thing. And it's not your responsibility to pay. One of my customers actually paid, I think, they paid, no, 3 of my customers in the UK paid customs fees on key orders for Black Friday because they ordered so much. But the thing is, they knew that that was a risk ordering internationally, and most customers understand this and they don't care. Where's everybody from? US, Portugal, US, UK, let's see, Canada, France, Ireland, let's see, UK, US. Do international sales means that your accounting gets more complicated? Does it change anything about reporting taxes? No. I mean, you're going to be keeping track of the higher shipping costs, but no, there's nothing associated with your taxes when it comes to shipping internationally. So, and that's another thing. Oh, it looks like Jess is connecting back. We see Jess coming back.
It takes a minute for it to pop up.
Yeah, it might take her a second. So, and that's another thing. Oh, there she is. You're back. It worked. Can you hear us? Can you hear us, Jess? Jess.
Yeah, I can.
Okay. You're very laggy. So maybe let's give it a second to kind of connect, and we'll see if it helps at all. So give it just a second. And then for alphas who are shipping internationally, I know a lot of people really freak out at the idea of a customs form. Let me just tell you that Etsy makes this process so stinking easy that it's almost like foolproof. If you have never shipped internationally, but you print your labels from Etsy normally, all you have to do is print that international label. You're going to add in the dimensions of your package and the weight of your package, which most sellers have either an idea of how much, how heavy their packages are already, or they have a scale. And that's all you need to do is put in that weight and the dimensions of your package. Like, it's so freaking easy. They make it so easy for you. You don't have to worry about filling out any crazy forms or anything. It all comes standard right on your actual label. So don't be afraid of international shipping. It is almost identical to shipping to the US. And we don't even bat an eye. When we get an international label, it's just, oh, look, another order. We don't see international orders any different than our US orders, just because the process is so simple. He actually prints all of our labels. Jess, I think that you should be back. We covered dates and times. Let's try to cover topic number 4, and we'll see if your volume has adjusted. Can you hear us? Oh no, it's lagging so bad. What do you think, Mr. Moore?
Ain't nothing I can do.
Oh no. We don't have any audio from you at all. Well, this is
we understand. She's a little more remote.
That's okay. The only other thing that I can recommend, Jess, is possibly rebooting your computer or your router.
That's probably not going to help much.
Yeah, because it might just be a connection issue, or trying to get closer to your router could help too.
If you're on wireless.
Yeah, if you're on wireless, maybe try to scoot closer to your router. So another thing that Jess actually mentioned that we didn't have scheduled for our topic today that I would like to cover, though, because it's a really good point. I know that a lot of people freak out about those higher shipping costs when they're shipping internationally.
Okay.
Oh, I heard you.
The 4th point.
Oh, it's lagging that far back. I might need to mute her.
No worries.
Give it just a minute. All right, Jess.
Yeah, because the video looks like it's getting better.
The quality of the video is getting better. But then I heard your audio from like 3 minutes ago. So give it just a second and then we'll have you unmute yourself. But the one thing that I really did want to talk about is rolling over some of those shipping costs onto the price of your item, which, you know, a lot of people freak out about that. They say, oh, you know, I'm afraid to add a few dollars onto the price of my item, but it's a really useful tactic if you're finding that your shipping prices are exceeding the price that you would normally pay for the product. For example, if you're selling $5 necklaces and the shipping price is $13.50, which is what I pay, it's actually more effective to sell a $15 necklace and bump that price up and then reduce the actual shipping cost. I find that to be much better than charging nearly double for the product. So it looks like we lost Jess again. So we're going to go ahead and cover a couple things that she had on her list. Item number 4 that she had talked about was currency. That's always a big one. So make sure that those values that you have products listed under are going to translate well to other countries. And I know that, you know, that's hard to avoid because obviously you're going to price your products where your primary demographic is. But in some cases, this means that you need to be very, very aware of not just the price of your product, but once again, as I mentioned, the price of that shipping. Because that shipping price for most areas, and especially if you have a heavy product, is going to be dramatically higher than some of the product prices that you might be charging. So always keep an eye on currency and how those values are going to kind of measure up in other countries. Now, let's see. Did we have any questions to kind of fill in the blanks here since we've lost Jess?
Similar one to the last one. How do you handle international sales as far as reporting on your end of year sales? Does that make sense? Your international sales themselves should be exactly the same as your
there's
Kona sales.
I don't think that it would apply. I mean, anybody who doesn't live in the US, do you do anything different, like in terms of taxes for shipping internationally? Because
there's not even anything that we talk about of like where we've sold to or who we sell to.
Yeah, we have, state
tax. That's not even a question for us.
There are sales taxes for some states that we do have to acknowledge. Washington, who knows all the states that we have sales tax for. But Etsy takes care of that automatically. You don't even have to touch it unless you're selling on another platform where you have to keep track of that manually. But that's not even something that we have to keep track of. So don't worry about all that. It sounds to me like most people who are afraid to ship internationally have like these irrational fears of things that don't even exist. So feel free to go ahead and start typing some questions into the comments. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm sure that Jess is like scrambling, trying to figure out how to get things back together.
We knew that this was a risk with her being as remote as she is.
We really wanted to bring her on today, and this is absolutely not her fault. She lives literally in the middle of nowhere. She lives like so far away from even the nearest town. She submitted one of the Alpha of the Year testimonials that I uploaded yesterday. If you missed that channel or that video, it's on my channel. Be sure to check it out because we have several, not all of, because we have 160 students, but we have several of our alphas who actually sent me videos talking about their success stories. And I just kind of compiled like the most like heartwarming parts into one big video. So if you guys want to check those out, you're more than welcome to. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get some questions rolling. Since I think we shared more than 7 secrets, including the ones that I kind of magically sprinkled in. Let's hear some questions, whether they be shipping questions, international. Obviously, I can't give you like a perspective from how do you ship candles from Germany. Like I can't give you guys perspectives on that because I've never done that, but I can usually answer questions, or I can direct you to a location where you can get answers for questions if you do not live in the US. What do we have, Mr. Moore?
Let's see here.
Read their names too, so I know who they are.
CJ, man, I'm going to guess
CJ.
Mangione.
We'll just say CJ. CJ.
Whenever I click on an Etsy site through YouTube, it reads the price in euros lately. Sites are US, and so am I. So frustrating.
It sounds like you might. Do you use like a VPN Could it be a VPN problem? Do you use a VPN? Because that might be actually like sending signals that say, hey, I'm in this country. Now I'm in this country. So, and if you don't have a VPN, then there's just something weird going on inside your computer that you might want to have looked at. Because, yeah, that shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, yes, no answers. You got to understand there's like a 5-minute lag here. So, flat rate versus price per destination. What are the pros and cons of each, and what do you do?
Well, flat rate is going to be great if you ship a heavy item that you know could fluctuate. For example, Jess, who's back, hopefully we'll see if her volume works. Jess ships candles and they're heavy. So flat rate is obviously going to be, a much better option for someone who ships a heavy item, because no matter what, you're paying the same price. Flat rate is going to be ideal. But if you're not shipping something that's very heavy, it all just depends on comparison. And honestly, my suggestion, what I did when I first started, was I packed up my orders. I put a couple different ones like in different envelopes, and I went to the post office at a time when it wasn't super busy. And I just kind of became friends with the postal workers. And I asked them, I said, could you weigh this and just let me know out of curiosity how much this package would cost me to ship? Okay, cool. Now let's take this item out. Now, how much would this one, will this one, do you think? And now I know mentally how much all of my packages are going to weigh just based on what's in them, because I've been doing it so long. So you could totally go to the post office and just kind of, ask them to weigh them for you and play around and ask them what they think is best. That's what they're there for. And I mean, don't do it now. Don't do it before like Christmas. Like wait until the holiday rush settles down. But, end of January, February, go in there. Take your packages in. They are there to help. Jess, let's hear your voice. Oh, you're back. It worked. Jess,
I just restarted my computer.
Oh, now you're better than ever. Now you're even more clear.
And I'm right beside the router.
Awesome. Perfect. Jess, I stole all your topics from you. Well, some of them. And we've kind of gotten into Q&A. Are you cool with Q&A?
Yes, totally fine.
All right.
Don't worry about it.
What do I
gotta be adaptable with everything.
Yeah, what do I say about favorite F words? Do you remember what I always say? Favorite F word? What your favorite F word should be?
Flexible.
Flexibility.
Flexibility. Yeah.
Flexibility.
You gotta roll with life. Like if you're rigid and unable to change, then I'm not sure business is for you, because I make mistakes regularly, like all the time. I'm constantly changing something or evolving.
Yeah.
You have to.
Absolutely. And you have to be resilient, because take a marketer from the 60s and throw him into 2018 and tell him to sell a product, and he will not know what to do. The market is not going to stop changing. And if you have decided that you're going to stay right where you are, and I am not going to learn tech, I am not going to learn SEO, I am not going to learn social media, you will not be successful in 2018 or any years after 2018. So let's go ahead and get back to some questions where, let's see. On another live stream, you mentioned a couple of countries that you wouldn't ship to because government issues and customers wouldn't be able to receive it. What customers or what countries are they?
Pakistan.
We do not ship to Pakistan. Because isn't it like countries that we're at war with? Like, isn't that like technically we're not at war, but we can't ship to countries that we're at war with, right?
Yeah, we won't get into that.
Yeah.
But basically, Pakistan doesn't let our packages through.
Russia has a lot of trouble with certain items.
Depending on the person, we usually give it one try, and then after that, we're not going to mess with it anymore. We refund it because the shipping's too expensive for us to keep paying for.
Russia, we have trouble with. Italy, for certain products, you can look up a banned list of products that you cannot ship to Italy. And you can look up a banned list of products that you cannot ship to Russia. Now, I can technically ship to Russia and Italy, but sometimes there is miscommunication in customs where you can't ship fine jewelry to Italy. And even though my products are not fine jewelry, they're costume jewelry, there is that like gray area where things are lost in translation and the packages just don't show up, even though they're not, made out of fine metals. So just be sure to look at those lists. But Russia, Pakistan, and Italy are the main countries that I've personally had trouble with. Jess, do you have any countries from shipping from Australia that you like can't ship to or are afraid to ship to?
Well, Australia is actually quite similar to the US. So anything that you say is the same, but actually like Western Australia in specific, like where I live, is really, really strict with their borders. So I could never ship any wood in and out, any sort of natural products in and out.
Oh.
I couldn't, yeah. So yeah, like I couldn't even take a plant from here to the next state. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's probably something that a lot of people didn't know, that you wouldn't be able to ship any natural resources out of the area. That's really cool.
No, like if I wanted to go outside and use some palm anything like from the palm trees to use as packaging material, like a natural thing, I can't do it.
Wow. That is so weird. I didn't know that. So even I learned something today. So our
Yeah, we have the flora and the fauna in Western Australia is pretty protected. We have it's pretty like natural, like raw here. Like the earth is, so they don't like to let bugs in and out and things like that.
Yeah, because that could have, devastating effects on other habitats. So I totally understand that. Let's see. Yeah. Okay.
Which shipping carrier do you use? If USPS, do you use first class or priority? Yes, we use USPS and we do 2 to 5 days.
Yeah, so that would be first class. We don't use priority unless we have to, but make sure that you're looking at your products, because I sell jewelry, and if you sell, something like candles or we'll say like
Clocks,
they're
big stuff.
Right. Like you need to weigh this based on your product, how much it's going to weigh, what type of package you need to include it, in. You have to really figure this out for your package. But I personally use first class. Let's see. I've heard that jewelry can't be sent to certain countries.
We already talked about
yeah, we did, didn't we? I guess we covered that. That was a lag. Starla Moore, what percentage of your sales are international? Mr. Moore, what do you think? Maybe like 10%, 20%?
5 to 10, in between 5 and 10%, I'd say.
Yeah, we get about 2 international orders a week.
This last Black Friday sale that we had is like 30%, 40%.
Yeah. Let's see. GFT Woodcraft.
Yes.
Is there a payment plan for Handmade Alpha Academy? There is. There is a 6-month payment plan, and that will be opening tomorrow. And Jess is a student. So if you guys have any questions for Jess about like student experience with Handmade Alpha Academy, you're free to ask those too. I want you guys to make sure that you're actually able to talk to students who are currently in HAA before you make any major decisions. Let's see.
Ask me anything.
Ask her anything. She is here.
I wouldn't invite that to the internet.
That's true, Jess. Don't invite them to ask you. They're going to want to know what type of quilted toilet paper that you use on Wednesdays.
Do you use a mail service like ShipStation or Stamps.com? No,
I do not, Ginger. I use Etsy's awesome in-platform shipping.
We do occasionally use USPS's site when we have like a really confusing address that we can't figure out. Sometimes we'll head to there just to get things. It's like when we get like a Chinese address that's like 7 lines long
that won't fit in Etsy's.
Right. We have to go to USPS's website because you can't even write it out by hand. You have to print it on like special labels and stuff.
Because Etsy only gives you so many characters, and there are some countries that require more characters than what Etsy will give you, and there is just no way to get it to all fit. And then good luck trying to communicate with the customer who doesn't speak a lick of English, trying to figure out how to correct their address with characters that you aren't even familiar with. So usually it's easier to just get on USPS's website and print it right from there. Oh, here's one for Jess. Daisy and Crumble. What's the closest city to you, Jess?
City, Perth.
Like closest, maybe like well-known area.
Perth, 1,600 kilometers south of me.
What was the name of it?
Perth.
Perth?
Perth. Yeah.
Perth. Okay, Perth. I'm learning new places today. I'm learning all kinds of new things. Amber Marie. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that, like there's a town called Karatha that's technically a city, and that's a 2-hour drive from where I live. That's where I had my daughter because there's no hospital in my town. So, but it's not very big. Like you wouldn't know what Karatha is unless you lived up here.
Tiny hole in the wall. That's kind of like our area of Ohio for what you would consider a hole in the wall here, but we are like 5 minutes away from everything that we could ever buy or need. So totally different like levels of in the middle of nowhere. Let's see. Oh, a slice of LTD says Australia doesn't let silver or gold jewelry in. They bounce it back. Have you ever heard that? Have you ever ordered some silver or gold jewelry online? Apparently that's one.
No, I'm not really. No, it's not something I would buy. That's not me personally. I like more natural material, even though gold and silver is natural, but you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Yeah, no, I haven't personally ordered anything like that, but
I wonder why.
Good to know. Next time I'm going to put gold in my candles, I won't outsource it.
Yeah, maybe that might be one that you want to look up, like Google like items that you cannot ship to Australia.
It's an economic thing. They don't want a bunch of people bringing gold and silver, fine metals into the country. That fluctuates the economy when it happens over a large scale.
Yeah, we have gold mines here, so
yeah.
I don't know.
They might just not want like to take in anything, which I can understand. Like, well,
they don't have control over that. They have control over the mines and stuff and what actually goes into production.
Exactly. Melissa D asks during the recent so she's talking about the Canada strikes. For those who aren't aware, is Canada Post still on strike, guys? Let me know in the comments. During the recent we'll just say Canada strikes. My POD suspended orders to Canada, but I have no idea how to bar Canadian customers from temporarily ordering from my shop. Is this even an option on Etsy? I don't think so, but you can just message them and refund. Message and refund. Let them know. I just shipped orders to Canada. My customers are very aware of the strikes, though, and I did put a disclaimer on my banner. So just if you absolutely are not going to be shipping to Canada, just refund, message them, say, I apologize. I wouldn't want to take your money and then you not receive your product. And people are going to be very understanding of that. They're not going to want to give you money and then not get a product either. So tell them, come back.
It's not stuck anymore. There's no more strike. That's over.
Is it over?
It's been over for about a week. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. They said that it's over. Cool. Well, that's good to hear. What is the most important thing that Jess wants to share with us regarding international shipping? So what is like the most important thing that you could ever share that you think that all alphas in the world could benefit from if they receive an international order and maybe it's their first order and they're terrified, like they don't even know what to do? What would you tell them to comfort their soul?
Everything you want is on the other side of fear. That's what I would tell them.
Yes.
You have to face it and do it and not be afraid of international shipping. It's okay to have higher international shipping fees. Like, people will pay them. Like, don't sit there thinking nobody's going to pay for this, because yes, they will. I've experienced it. I didn't think it was possible, and they do.
So
it's okay. It's okay to be afraid, but it's not okay to be paralyzed by it.
That's perfect. Jess, where, just out of curiosity, do you ship mostly like within Australia, or do you have like a spectrum of customers outside of Australia? Like where is like your majority at, or what would you consider like your target market, like demographic? Where do they live?
It's quite interesting right now because I'm so new, so it's kind of evolving, but it seems to be accurate anything. But obviously I have a lot of Australian, but I have also US orders and UK orders.
So that might be something that somebody selling in Australia should take note of, that even though that they live in Australia, like they still have markets in the US, they still have markets in the UK. Like these are all possibilities. These are chances that you guys could be making money if you take that leap and start, you know, shipping internationally. Like there's so many possibilities. And I mean, we would be out if we were to not have offered Black Friday shipping, or I mean, international shipping for Black Friday, like season in general. How much money do you think we'd be out?
You mean if we made shipping internationally free?
No, I'm saying like if we did not ship internationally at all, how much of our revenue do you think was international?
Probably about 30% for the Black Friday sale.
So about $5,000. So that would be like $5,000 that we would have lost if we had chosen not to ship internationally. Think about that. Like, think about that for a second. I'm a large scale seller, but $5,000 over the course of just a few days that we might not have if I hadn't, you know, obviously I've been shipping internationally for like 6 years, but if I had never decided to ship internationally, not only that, but I definitely would not be as big as I am with Etsy if I had, you know, never decided to ship internationally. Rachel asked, do you think that if I sent you and Mark a package, would it make it there in time for the unboxing if I shipped it tomorrow? I'm also in Ohio. Yes, if you shipped it tomorrow, it should arrive in time if you're in Ohio. Let's see. Do we have Jess? What have been your biggest challenges with international shipping? So like shipping internationally, what are your biggest challenges that you've had to face? We'll say, you know, for your particular product.
I'm capped at a 2 kilo limit on shipping internationally. So I have to keep that in mind when I'm packaging. And also, another thing I've been learning as I've been going is just figuring out actually like the prices and going in and changing listings as I get an order and then my pricing isn't appropriate and I'm taking like too much of the cut, like, and it's not, don't get upset about it. Like, it's learning. You have to make mistakes and it's gonna be okay. Like, just don't beat yourself up over it. Just don't even react. Just deal with it and learn from it and change what you're doing and move on. Like, it's okay. You're gonna have to figure it out.
That is like the best advice ever. Just, you will make mistakes, and so many alphas will like make that mistake where they'll end up having to eat like $5 of the shipping price, and they just are so devastated. I'm like, calm down. $5 is not that much, sweetheart. It will be okay.
It's a waste of your energy to get so upset over just making a mistake over shipping costs. Like, just use that energy and evolve yourself. Like, don't get so upset about it. It's okay.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I promise, like, that will not be the last of your mistakes. And I'm sure that it's probably not the first, and you will get over it very quickly, and you will hopefully, you know, use what you've learned to change and make sure that it doesn't happen again. I mean, that's what trial and error is. You make an error and then you fix it. You know, that's how this works. And ultimately, that's why I created Handmade Alpha Academy, because starting out, being on Etsy for 6 years, I have made more mistakes and goofed up so many times that I cannot even document it all like on a piece of paper. I couldn't just sit and write it all down because I've made so many mistakes. And to make sure that you guys don't make the same mistakes, I created Handmade Alpha Academy, which is a step-by-step course that will teach you exactly what you need to do in the order that you need to do it. I'm holding your hand every step of the way. And that course opens for the second time this year. It's only been opened once for 10 days. Now it's opening for its final 10 days. It's been 7 months since it opened, and it is opening tomorrow for 10 days. And Jess is a student of Handmade Alpha Academy. So super quick, Jess, while we've got you on there, for any alphas who are thinking about enrolling tomorrow, do you have any like words? And this, once again, I say this like every live stream, Jess is not an affiliate. I'm not paying her to say anything. We have not spoken about this like prior to the live stream. No pressure, Jess. I'll cover my ears if you want me to, but feel free to tell the alphas your honest opinion of what you think of HAA and what it has done for you.
Okay. HAA has made me actually do something. So I spent 2 embarrassing years doing nothing, just saying, oh, I'm going to have a business and pretending to work on it, but not actually doing anything useful. So the mindset of HAA is really what did me, what super helped me. Like I went from just messing around to actually like getting my butt in gear. And I didn't realize how small of a thing that was actually personally keeping me back. So like when you first do a listing, and then before you can actually create the listing, you need a photo, and that freaked me out. I was like, oh my God, I can't put a photo up. I need to like do this. And when you put a custom listing, no idea how much that changed my life. I was like, oh,
it was something as simple as that.
Yes. And so whatever it is, that if you're just on the fence about a business, or you're trying but it's not really working for you, or you're not motivated enough, or whatever it is, like HAA will help you. I can guarantee it, because now you have all this alumni that have been done it and experienced it, and I'm sure we have a similar situation someone can help you with. So not only are you getting all of Starla's awesome trainings and stuff, but now you've got all of us to back you up and help you out. It's gonna be pretty crazy. I can't wait to see how many new faces are in there. It's gonna be great.
I know. I'm like excited, but like I'm terrified too, because I'm like, oh man, I'm like you excited. Got it. I'm so excited. and you know, you came in as like totally new, like just newbie, you know, and we hear that a lot, like, you know, I'm a newbie and I need to start from scratch. And obviously that is great for people coming into HAA. But what do you think if somebody comes in and they're like, you know, oh, I've already got like this shop and I already make sales, but I'm just not making the sales that I want to make, and I don't know why. From an outside perspective, do you still see HAA as being like that solution to those people who just want more sales, even if they've already got that established shop?
The first thing I would ask them is, how willing are they to listen and change? Because if you're not willing to listen and change, then nothing's going to help you. Sorry. But if you're totally like, yep, I'm open, I'm willing to try this new method, and I'm going to give it a go, and I'm going to really try, then of course it will help your shop. Like, it will super help your shop. Like, you're actually in a better position than I was, even though you might think, oh, I have so much work to do, but you have like a little bit of history for your shop. I had to start at 0, and it's actually quite tricky to go from 0 to probably wherever they are. So if they're actually like, I don't know, I can't say that, because some alphas have had like amazing results that, yeah, okay, I'm getting totally off topic, but
it's like 3 a.m. there, isn't it?
It's 5 to 2.
Oh, okay. So not quite. Yeah. And you know, we have so many alphas who have started, like, for example, I'm going to like name drop and say Paula Haas, because I love her to death. Paula Haas messaged me before she enrolled last semester. And I mean, you know, Paula Haas from Clean and Dirty Skincare, right? Yeah, Paula Haas. She messaged me before. She's like, she messaged me and asked me, she said, so I'm not exactly a new seller. In fact, what I'm looking to do, my goal is to reach 6 figures. And she already had like employees. And she asked me, can HAA help me to do this? And I said, well, first of all, Paula, let me tell you this. I cannot guarantee you that you will make 6 figures because I'm not a slimy snake and I'm not going to sell you this magic button, get rich quick scheme. We all know that that's not who I am. And I'm not going to make a promise like that to you because you could buy it, not do anything, and then get mad at me that you didn't make 6 figures. But if, you know, Etsy is what you want to do, if Etsy is, you know, where you're at and you are building this niche on Etsy and you already have this, you know, relatively established business, but you definitely know that you need to take it to the next level, there may be things in HAA that you already know. But if you're willing to dig deep down into the roots of your business and the core of your business and start reworking things and tweaking the small little wires that are just crossed or snipped, and, you know, make sure that you are rebuilding with a stronger foundation than when you started maybe years ago, then absolutely. And Paula Haas made, oh man, how much does anybody remember how much she made this weekend or this week? She messaged me like a thank you, and let me pull it up while
We need to get the questions.
go ahead and pull up questions. Let me pull up my message from Paula. I hope that she doesn't mind that I'm totally there it is. Okay, so she messaged me and said, our November just passed $16,000 in sales, and Black Friday weekend is just over $5,600 in sales. I can't thank you enough for what you've taught me. So Paula Haas, her shop is Clean and Dirty Skincare for anybody who's wondering what she sells. She sells skincare products. Okay. So let's go ahead and get on to more questions.
Do you ever worry when shipping to China that your designs might get taken or ripped off? No, 2 words, language barrier. Well, because even if they did buy a product, there's no way they're going to be able to figure out how to put a product on Etsy and get the SEO going and get a shop moving with all of the different products. And I mean, realistically, if you get an order from China where they order one of every single one of your products, you probably just refund it because that's what they're doing.
Well, here's the thing. My thing is, like, if you want to replicate my designs, if you're going to try to take what I do and redo it, and let them freaking try. Like, I double dog dare you to try. I'm not going to go after you. I'm not even going to, I'm not going to chase you down. Try.
It's different for like digital products and stuff. Obviously, it's a little harder for you guys, but when it comes to things that they would have to purchase, pay exorbitant amounts for shipping to get to their country for all of those different, it's not worth it. And
maintain the level of
quality,
of love and connection between the customers that I have. I have such a cult following around my products. Nobody can rip that off. You cannot rip off the emotions behind my products. So no, I'm not worried at all.
I make wood products. Can I ship them to Australia? Yeah, I think it was the reverse that was the problem.
Jess, can you receive products in Australia? Like if you bought something online, can you receive wood products?
It would be stuck in customs for quite a while.
So
they would maybe check it out, and they would, like, I know in Western Australia specifically, they would put it in customs and they would probably spray it with some sort of insecticide or something to kill the bugs. I don't know, like, don't quote me on that, but I know like natural materials coming into like Western Australia specifically is pretty strict. Like, we don't even accept very many fruits and vegetables from other states. So, just give it a go. Like, if you want to trial something, just ship it to me or something. You know what I mean? Like, try it.
Ship her a stick and see how it goes.
Or like some scrap material, whatever you make that's wood, and see how it goes. Like, find an Australian buddy like me and try it. Like, that's the only way you're gonna find anything out.
I mean, and Google it too. I mean, I'm sure Google has like a list of items that you can't ship to Australia. So just Google it. I'm sure that there's something out there. Jetta asks, I do mostly one-of-a-kind items. Is HAA something for me? Now, there is a difference between mostly one-of-a-kind and all one-of-a-kind. You need to have at least 10 products. There's a very specific reason that Jess can verify. You need to have at least 10 products that you can always keep in stock and make over and over again. And if most of your products are one-of-a-kind and you can't do that for 10, I highly recommend that you wait, because eventually, and it's going to be a while, guys. I know I keep getting asked. Courses take a long time to make. But eventually I'm going to have a more one-of-a-kind focused course. If one-of-a-kind is what you plan to do, just know that it's so much harder. It is so much harder to make an established shop with one-of-a-kind products because you cannot build an SEO history behind those. Etsy wants to recommend products to buyers that they know are selling over and over and over again. So if you're making mostly one-of-a-kind products, there's no way to build that history. Now, if you would like to maybe make a small collection of products that you know you can make over and over again in order to draw people into your shop so that they'll buy your one-of-a-kind products, that's also an option. But in order for HAA to truly work and for my SEO formula to work well, you need to have at least 10 items that you can replicate. So there is that disclaimer.
Should we keep offering holiday themed products even though we're past our shop's holiday ordering deadline? Totes up to you.
Yeah, that's up to you. I mean,
it's not going to hurt you.
Right. There's no right or wrong way to do that. Cozy Fox Shop. We've learned so much from Handmade Alpha Academy. I just can't list it all here, but we were noticed by a huge event here in Colorado, and we will be a vendor this Saturday. Oh, awesome. Cool beans. Let's see.
Looking for an actual question here. That's not for us.
Going through the questions.
When you talk about total sales on Etsy, are they normally talking about the total before paying Etsy fees, materials, etc., or is the clean amount real profit?
When I talk about total sales on Etsy, who are they? You say, are they normally talking about the total before paying Etsy fees, material cost, or is it the clean amount?
Are they referring to us?
Are you referring to us, Daniela? Like, we're live right now. Like, we're talking to you. So we need to know who the they are, if you can type that in before we need to get off, because we are going to be hopping off here in a second. It's very late where Jess is. Very late. So I don't want to keep her up, like, into the wee hours of the morning.
Total sales on Etsy. I mean, if you're talking about total sales on Etsy, you're just talking about how many sales you've made.
Let's see. Wendy Work Art. I have one set of coasters on Etsy that gets favorited every day, but pretty much never sells. Any idea what's going on there? It could be anything. That's not something that I can just tell you from it. I mean, it could be your pricing. It could be your photos. Something is driving them to click that listing, but it's not converting to a sale. So Handmade Alpha Academy is designed to help you diagnose those, problems within your own listings. But me just looking at a one line in a YouTube chat, I can't really diagnose that for you, unfortunately.
That's pretty much all the questions for now.
All right, guys. Daniela, sorry. Oh, it's okay. We just wanted you to reiterate. Feel free to reiterate like lightning fast. All right. So, Jess, do you want to go ahead and really quick tell everybody where they can find you? And I have all the links in the description, and maybe talk about the discount that you're offering.
Oh, yes. So I actually have a website that redirects you to my Etsy shop. So if you go to 6spice.com.au, that will redirect you to my Etsy shop. But if you click the link below, it's exactly the same thing. I just haven't built my website yet. It's on the gigantic to-do list. And I have a 25% off coupon for Alpha. So all you have to do is type in Alpha at checkout, and it's bigger discount than my email list, because my email list right now needs some work. So you guys go have a good time, and it's valid till the end of January. So if you're catching this later, because I know right now it's the busy holiday season and lots of people are super busy, so it's there for whenever you want to use it in the replay, watch it, use it. It's there for you. Enjoy it.
Awesome.
Fill your cup.
And then it looks like Daniela did reiterate. You meant Paula Haas, who I referenced in general. I don't know. I don't know if she was referring to profit, but regardless, what did I say? $16,000.
Most people don't refer specifically to profit because that requires doing a lot of math.
Right,
Most people just refer to blanket sale.
I was gonna say, right, but $16,000 in November and then another $5,600. Like, who would like to make that much money, regardless of whether that was before materials and shipping? Like, who would want to make $16,000 and then another, what did she say, $5,600, regardless if it's before or after? So Paula, if she ends up or you guys, like, go in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community and tag her and ask her. You guys are free to do that. And that was like before all of the sales were even over. She wasn't even like through Black Friday yet when she messaged me that. But feel free to tag her. She's in the group and it is linked down below. Handmade Alpha Facebook community. All right. So we'll go ahead and let's see. How do you spell your daughter's name, please? Taylor. I'm assuming that's for unboxing purposes.
Unfinished furniture.
All right.
What, Jess, what was the most valuable thing you learned from HAA?
Yeah, this will probably be our last question. So we're ending with a bang. Jess, what was the most valuable thing that you learned from HAA?
Me personally, it made me fearless. HAA, I'm not afraid to pretty much do anything anymore. And before I was living so afraid. I was afraid. I'd look at those big shops and I'd be like, oh, I can't get there. And I would never be able to do this, like an interview on YouTube. No way. And do like that video submission I did for HAA. Oh yeah, that never would have happened before. And the radio interview that I had, no, I wouldn't have been able to do that either. And yeah, it was really about making me fearless. So if you're an afraid seller like I was, you need to do HAA and realize that every shop starts from zero. Okay, it's like those big shops didn't just have their 100,000 sales like in their lap, or they had to start at zero, and everybody does. So it's okay to have zero sales. Like it's all right. You'll get there.
So do you feel like you're still like learning and growing? Because I know you're new, like you are brand new, like hot off the press, brand new.
Yeah, I launched the 10th of October is when I put things in my shop. So I'm super new.
And do you feel like you're still like learning?
Oh yeah. Of course. I gotta go redo the course and like change and evolve and more. I feel like I did it and I implemented everything, and now I feel like I need to go do it again. I'm gonna go do it again.
Yeah, and watching like sellers like Paula Haas, for example, because she makes more money from her shop than I do, and I'm the coach. Like she started making more money than me. Like that, as a coach, that's the most amazing freaking thing that I could ever give to somebody, where like she comes in and says, I want to do this and I want to get, to your level. And then she goes in, takes the course, nails it, like runs with everything that I have, like, all of my secrets. And then she exceeds me. I love it. I love it. And then I watch her and I think, what would Paula do? Like, I look at sellers like that. Amber Marie, same story. She had to shove off because she, can't remember what she said. She needed to go somewhere, but she was here for a while. But Amber Marie, holy crap. Like I idolize that girl. And she came to us, not even knowing what to do on Etsy. So that is just, I love it. I love hearing those stories. And even I get inspired watching them.
Say yes instead of like lingoing in fear. Just say yes and do it and commit to it and just focus on one thing, even if it's just like, I don't know, like I had to learn to say yes to myself, like my own way, and HAA made me get out of my way so I could be me. And don't worry about, like when we were talking earlier about people who are worried, are you worried about ripping off your designs? Just realize nobody's you. Nobody can be you. You're always going to be you, and you is going to shine in what you make and your products and your packaging and everything. So don't worry about it. Like that's a waste of energy. Like just focus your energy on you. Be you.
Absolutely. And
we can answer.
yeah, and we've Ginger asked.
It's the lifetime membership, Ginger.
Yeah, Ginger asked if you can do the course as many times as you want, or if you have to pay each time to take the course. No, once you're in, not only do you get the whole course, but you also get a bunch of bonuses that I'm going to be like sending you an email about tomorrow. So get excited for all the bonuses. Jess knows all the bonuses, but you get like a bunch of really great bonuses. And not only that, but anytime like Etsy changes or anything, or if I just think of like some new material, like a new video that I want to add in there, you get all of that for free. Like you just log in one day and there it is. And I send you an email and I say, hey, everybody, guess what? Today I decided that I was going to add an update to HAA and you all have it now. So HAA is opening tomorrow, December 1st. As long as you are on my email list, which is linked down below, make sure that you click see more or show more. You'll see that little email list link. Be sure to join and you will be the first to know when it opens. Not only that, but you will be getting a discount that is equal to 50% off the enrollment price. Otherwise, you're going to cry like tomorrow morning if you try to enroll and you don't receive that email. And if for any reason you're on my email list and you don't get that email, just message me and I'll make sure that you get it. We're not leaving anybody out. And if you guys have any questions about Handmade Alpha Academy, I will be doing some Q&As. I will be answering questions. By email. So feel free to email me at starla@handmadealphaacademy.com. But just know that like all of the details are going to be sent to you tomorrow. Okay.
Enrollment be going live. Look in your emails. You'll find out.
What time? Well, what time do you want to make enrollment live tomorrow? Let's let Mr. Moore decide.
3:47 a.m.
No, we'll do like, want to do like 9 a.m. Eastern?
I don't know.
9 a.m. Eastern?
We'll figure it out.
Probably around 9 a.m. Eastern because I just decided. 9 a.m. Eastern. All right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Have an awesome weekend. I'll be talking to you all tomorrow. Be sure to join the VIP list before then. That way you can get the discount and watch your email tomorrow morning. And I will make sure that everybody gets it. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Say bye, Jess. Say bye, Jess. Jess is lagging. Jess is not moving
before she crashes
out.
out.
There she goes. Bye.
See you later, everybody.
See you guys.